Hi, welcome to LLB463 Legal Clinic Virtual Showcase. My name is Harriet.
And I'm Laura.
And together we undertook the Legal Clinic QUT Intellectual Property Law Project. This presentation will describe our placement experience, including the impact our project will have on the community, skills we developed throughout our placement, and how this experience will influence our careers.
So what is the QUT Intellectual Property Law Project? Before we start, we want to pose a question for you to think about during this presentation. Who owns the intellectual property in this presentation?
The aim of this project has been to educate the community about intellectual property law, also known as IP law, in a way which people with a non-law background can understand.
Specifically, we have created guides to IP law for students, creatives, and entrepreneurs after undertaking research activities answering broad questions set by our supervisor. We created 2 guides.
We created an infographic on copyright ownership for students, and we created a fact sheet answering the question, what is ownership in intellectual property law?
Our role comprised of 4 main parts.
We met with academics and university employees, including Nerdia Quatimus, QUT's copyright officer, to understand questions students regularly ask regarding IP ownership.
We researched a range of IP topics, including ownership, licensing, and assignment rights. As part of our research, we had to ensure all our sources were openly licensed. This was because, as part of the Legal Clinic project, our work needed to be made available under a Creative Commons license for free access and use of work.
We were required to critically evaluate the sources we used. By understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the content already available, we could ensure that we could build on that content to create the best guides possible.
Finally, we drafted our findings into 2 engaging guides, the fact sheet and the infographic.
The goal of our project has been to create resources which can be easily accessible to students, creatives, and entrepreneurs. As these resources have not been created before, the impact this project will have on the wider community when the resources are published includes
assisting to eliminate prevalent disadvantages across creative industries where universities or companies have been known to take advantage of the work created by our stakeholders, entrepreneurs, creatives, and students. These resources will be invaluable to these stakeholders who have until now been significantly disadvantaged.
So what skills did we develop during our placement? As you can see, we have developed a range of skills during the project. However, the main skills we have developed include
research skills. Previously in our law degree, research has always been conducted on legal databases. This project expanded our research skills to locate legal information freely available online. We located the most pertinent information on government websites. We also critically evaluated the credibility and accuracy of different sources.
writing skills. Over the course of our law degree, we have been required to write numerous legal documents for legal professionals. This project enabled us to develop our writing skills as it required us to explain legal concepts in clear and concise, plain English. This was challenging as we had to assume our audience did not have background knowledge of legal concepts and was not familiar with legal terminology.
An ability to see the world through the eyes of others. To fully be able to educate our stakeholders as to IP law, it required us to truly understand the problems and disadvantages all stakeholders faced. This forced us to develop empathy for people and backgrounds we were unfamiliar with in order to be able to create guides which were truly beneficial to our stakeholders. This placement has been my first taste of social justice, and I think I'm hooked. Having always worked in commercial law, I thought it was a career path I had to take. However, this taste of social justice, including the empathy developed throughout the project, has influenced me to seek a career with a true passion of mine, administrative law.
Prior to undertaking this project, I believe I wanted to practice in IP law. This project has further consolidated this career goal. This is due to the enjoyment I experienced creating resources in this area of law and being able to discuss an IP career path with our supervisor and course coordinator.
To give you an example of one of our guides, here is the infographic we created for students.
So have you worked out who owns the intellectual property in this presentation?
Put your thoughts in your comment.